continue. We may or may not, you may or may not use it, but I'm recording. Good. Okay, cool. Okay. So a couple questions that we still are kind of in the setup stage, but I can do this quick enough once I understand what you need. And so I've got my OneNote over here. I'm going to be taking notes of what you tell me. Okay, so with that being said, let's make darn sure I understand what products to set up, because you're 100% correct. They will be components in G2. So you guys sell Credit Life Net and joint and single Credit Life. Is that correct? Okay. So I'll just put net in here for now. So, and oh, got it. I won't do joint. I will do single. That's right pick for single. And then you come over here and you have only one selection company, and then it populates the numbers for you automatically. And here, and so again, I'm just showing you, because you have to know how to do it manually in G2, fully understand how the menu selling populates the screen. Actually, I'll show that to you. Okay, select this one, and I'll do the join. Okay. And now let me pause that. So bottom line is, when you select this manually or through menu selling, I don't care which one you end up selecting it through, it will always auto populate. And where does that come from? That comes from skip that one because we're already talking. Let me hit. I'm gonna hit my stop sharing button, and now I'm gonna. Let me know, because I reshared. So that's why we're talking. We're not on the internet. We're on the phone. That's why we. Okay. Yes, sir. I do. I'm here. No, it should be on your email. No. Yeah. You're still there, right? Okay, just check. Do what? Okay, well, I can send it again. Okay, copy join. I'm going. What did you? Should be hopefully same screen.
Me. And now I see what you got. Okay, we're back to where we were.
All right. Okay.
And
Let's hit that question real quick.
yep, can we hang up the phone now? Because now I have you through the computer and a picture.
Either one you want to do, whichever's
Okay.
more convenient.
Yep. Okay, I'm ready.
Still there?
Yep,
Are you still there?
I am still here. Can you hear me?
Yep. Okay, I'm on my computer, so we're both off our phones. Cool. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and knock this question out real quick, then we'll continue. So, how does it get these numbers back here?
Yep.
In oh, that's actually make sure I'm still recording. There's my yes, that's still recording. Okay, good. Okay, back here under admin setup, update tables and codes. There is under F&I something called update configurations, and there's this calculation here called mi.car. I have no earthly idea what acronym that's for or whatever, but so at one point, y'all contacted our support department and we figured out this your state, your insurance company, and that code is what calls some algorithm out there, which again I have no earthly idea. And that algorithm calculates whether you're in blue screen, whether you're in G2, or whether you're in menu selling. I don't care which one you're in. It calculates. Let me close this up. It calculates these numbers. And so at any time, you can always go ahead and create a quote and tell them, hey, I've got a deal here for, or actually create a quote and print it out and send it to your F&I if you have a question about the numbers, send it to your insurance company and say, hey, this is the numbers that are generated. Are they right? And they'll tell you, yes, they are, or no, they weren't.
Okay.
But at some point, you guys gave us these company names. At some point, we went in and got that calculation either because we already had it or we recreated it for you. And at some point, we had you test it out and check with your insurance company, and they verify the numbers were correct. But if you ever want to re-verify them, just go ahead and any quote you want to, put these bad boys in here, and then send them the numbers and say, okay, is that correct?
Okay.
Okay. So critical illness, you guys don't offer that. And then this is the only confusing part I find confusing is that you only see 4 things here, but there are more, and I'll show you how to get to those more. So first off, we'll do extended warranty because we see it. I'm going to click right here. Actually, click here. Like there looks like, let me click right here. Like there looks like there's nothing on these lines because there's nothing on those lines, but there is something there. When I click here, then I'm going to see the drop down. So I'm clicking, and now I see the drop down. I'm clicking again, and I see the code, EXTW.
Okay.
So this is your code for extended warranty, and this is the company you're selling it through. If you had
Yep.
multiple companies, then you would have multiple selections down here, but you don't, and so you don't. And then over here, you have a default term 180. You change that to whatever you want to. You have the premium that comes out 0 and the income that comes out 0. Again, exactly like Blue Screen, correct?
Yep.
Okay, so you don't change it. Now down here, it looks again like there's nothing here, which I find disconcerting, but just kind of live with it. And let me get back to Lisa's email that she sent me. And there we are. Okay, so you guys sell Credit Life. She has an email she sent me. Actually, I'll drag it over. She sent me this email, which is what I'm going off with you. Credit Life and Disability. And then somewhere, oh, here, Service Plan, Paint and Fab, Tire and Gap, Tire and Wheel. So that's the product she said that you guys are selling.
Paint and fab protection, tire and gap, the Camper's Edge service plans and gap.
Correct?
Yep, there it is. Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So that's what I'm going off of. Okay. We drag that back over. So this is your extended warranty or your service plan.
Mhm.
Now, again, it looks like there's nothing here, but I'm going to click right here and magically something appears, and I'll just do them in order. So you hit click on gap. Again, that's called the code, and it says code. This is the insurance company it's tied to.
Yeah.
And again, you fill in whatever you want to fill in. Going down here, I'm going to do the paint protection tab, paint protection, who you sell through. And again, you fill in whatever you want to. And then last but not least, tire guard and tire guard. And again, you fill in whatever you want to.
Okay.
So
Okay.
nothing, everything I just showed you, you're totally familiar Viva Blue Screen.
Yes, I
Okay.
got every bit of that.
Okay, and again, same thing. So that's the point you have to realize is that our menu selling options basically populates this for you. So when you pick A, option B, option C, whatever, it'll go in there. If option C had gap but not tire protection, then gap but not tire protection would be populated here. But at any time, I don't care what you do in menu screen, you can always override it here. This is the menu selling is just a quick way of getting this thing populated versus how you saw me going back and forth.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I got that quote written down. I'll go ahead and save that quote. And now we'll finally go to menu screen. So I just wanted to establish there's no difference between G2 and Blue Screen other than the look and feel. But as far as what you do, it's the same thing.
Okay.
Okay, so with that being said, admin, setup, update tables and codes. And a couple things that weren't they weren't filled out, so I don't know how to say it that way. So I'm going to go over here to companies first, or actually finance rates. And some of this we can do together on the phone. So I'm going to, wrong one. I'm going to go to
Insurance codes.
Yep. Yep, that's what I want to be at. So let's just talk about gap first. So boom, here's gap. So gap is Camper's Edge. Boom, no big
Mhm.
surprise. Insurance code is gap. And again, it says, okay. Here, when I looked at it, it's not filled in. I don't really understand why, but it's not. So when I hit tab, there is nothing over here. So
Mhm.
now when I double click on it, I can find gap. And I'll click OK and take it back. It is filled in, so we're good. And all of this stuff is in here, which is good. Okay, so let me get my little check sheet over here. And again, once the setup's done, life is good. Northern, take your cap locks off, Mark. Northern Michigan RV. And actually, I will just do a copy paste of all of that actually. And
Okay, so you went into admin setup, update, tables and codes, put in the gap, and then
and it's all set up.
and then it was there. Okay.
So, well, kind of, because you said originally your first comment was, but there's no components there, and that is correct. There's still no components there.
Okay.
So I'm just making sure I have everything. Credit life, and you guys do single net and joint gross. And AH. And actually go back to AH for a second. Where's my screen at? Oh, there it is. And we close this up and close this up for a second. So you guys on A and H, you do 14 retro. Do you ever sell this other one, this joint DR? Rarely, but you do sell them.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me go ahead and actually make a note of that. Let me do a screen capture of that. And I did have that right. You sell credit life, joint net, credit life, single net. Okay, good. Credit life, not gross, was net. And then you also sell, you go down here and put that. Look over here. Well, just hit enter a couple times, Mark. And under A and H, disability, I don't really care about that comment. Don't need that. You sell 14 DR FM. I have no idea what that acronym is, but I don't need to know. And J joint 14 DR FM. Okay, so that is your products.
Yep.
Okay, and then I'm just going to move this over to the side again. So that is what you and I now are going to finally talk about as far as components in G2, and I'm going to just check these off as I see they're set up. And the ones I don't check off is the ones I do need to set up. And I'll actually put that on a different. I put a J there. So that's the products I need to set up. Okay, drag it over my other screen, and now minimize, and now go back to update tables and codes. So however you got to here, you were actually in the right spot. And F&I package maintenance. So component IDs, I did find these two, your extended warranty and tire guard, and I tied them up. So I'm going to check those off my box, which is those two there, and cancel. So I'm going to hit new, and now here, your paint and fab, which is under appearance protection. Oh, I did find that one. I take it back. I did find this one. But your paint and fab, by the way, do you call it, do you just call it Camper's Edge paint and fabric protection? Is that the full?
Yes.
Okay. So let me actually grab that from your comment here. I will put that here. And now that's the disclosure for it. So real quick on that one, it was tied to, these are just all your dealer options. So there isn't a dealer option for that. So let's actually create that. And so boom here. And I'm going to go to service. I'm going to try to go to service. Oh, let's close this. Hit save is good. And now to service. And this will actually accomplish a couple things. We're going to create a can job for paint and fab, and I'll also be showing you how to do can jobs. So
Okay.
if you want to create a can job, it's under, I did it too quickly, I'm sorry. You go to admin, setup, update tables and codes, brings up this window. And then you, there's two places or major places that you'll probably be working with is in service, it's called can jobs, which is that right there. And usually, and in this instance, can jobs are also tied to dealer options. So under sales or inventory, why we put it here, I don't know, but under inventory, we have maintain dealer options, which we're going to be doing both of these. So let me just do it and you'll see how it works. So you start with the can job in service. So, and you're the service guru, so you'll know exactly what questions are. So can jobs, I'm going to create a new can job. It's going to give it a number, but I'm going to call it PF for paint and fab. I'll come down here. I'm going to, you want to create a new can job? Yes, I do. I'll come down here. I'll paint that in. And what is the labor entailed for paint and fab?
There's three different ones. There's up to 20 foot is 1 hour. There's 20 to 30 foot is 2 hours, and 30 foot and bigger is 3 hours.
Okay, cool. We'll do it this way then. So Ghostbuster, do you wish to discard your changes? Yes, I do. So I'm going to call one PF1. Yes, I do. Labor. And we'll call that 1 hour. Is there any product, any parts, or any product at all put on it, or just labor?
It's just labor, but with the paint protection, there's a cost for the product itself is free. It's the
Right.
warranty for it that costs money.
Yep, and that will be within the setup of that one. Okay, so we'll leave that here, and that one hit save. So PF1's been updated. 2. You want to create job 1 called 2? Yes, I do. And labor. And that one's 2 hours. Okay, so now we have our can jobs for the service department. That's what goes on a work order.
Perfect.
And then this is what the sales department calls it. And you try not to confuse the salespeople, how they talk back and forth. So you name them the exact same thing. So sales is going to call it, hey, I want you to install the dealer option PF1. Well, they really are saying, I want you to install the can job PF1, but you don't want to explain that fine nuance to them. So we call them the same thing. That way everybody knows what everybody's talking about. And they don't have to explain it. So PF1 and default list. Now, is there a list price and a cost on each one of these? Or does it vary as you sell it?
It varies based off of the list price is usually $6 or $8 a foot.
Okay, so I'll leave these blank then.
Yep.
Okay, so here I'm going to name, now I want the can job. What can job, what the dealer option code PF1, what can job does it call? And that's why I name them the same. So there's no real thinking. It's very easy. Okay, default bill code is going to be internal. And then it's going to be inventory sales at cost. And we want it to go to the F&I column. We don't want it to default. And it's good on anything, correct? New or used?
Yes.
Okay. And then it can be on any type, and there's no default, so we click OK. And my next one, PF2. Leave those in, PF2. And F&I column, a designation, and OK. And last but not least, PF3. Now, hopefully you're going to see that it's all, the setup's long, it's tedious, it's whatever you want to call it. But once you're done with it, it's done.
Yep. That's the same when I'm doing the GL accounts and all that. It's once they're there, then it's easy to.
Then it's done. Exactly the same thing. Okay, so now for paint and fab, we have the right codes here. And so now go back up to our package maintenance. And I'm actually going to create a component ID. So this one I don't need anymore. Unless I can change it. And yeah, I can do it that way. So now this should have PF1 here. And just so whoever sells it knows, I don't want to really have the customer know about it, but so it's not cryptic, but the 1 means 1 hour. So they can easily, if they use code this one here, they know it's a 1 hour thing.
Okay.
Here, I'm going to change this to input. And that means at the time of sale, you'll put what the cost is, what the retail is to the customer.
Okay.
Now here, this is going to be a little homework for you. I'm going to type in the word secondary description. I'll just leave it like that. All right. Okay.
You're recording this, right? So I can go back and look at it again later.
I am.
All right, good.
And detail. You can really get kind of fancy. That's why I'm kind of typing these words in here. So you'll see where they go. So if you really want to get fancy, you can really get fancy. So I'm just retyping this text in here so you see where it shows up at, so you can be more detailed of what your appearance protection sells. Sub detail. So you can make as many details as about it, and then you can have sub details. And by me doing this, you're going to see where that falls in when you use that component. Okay, and I'll hit save. So now new component. And I'm going to go to appearance protection. This time I'm going to do the second one. And come here, primary description. And this one, again, just that way it's easy for the person
selling it to know that if they use this code, it's going to call a 2-hour can job to do it, and hit save, and that will be component number 4. And same thing here. Boom. Oop. And boom.
I do have a question for you regarding the paint protection.
Sure.
Right now, the cost of it gets charged to the deal, which gets charged back to the salesperson.
Mhm.
However, the finance person is the one that gets the commission for it. Is there a way that I can have the paint protection cost go towards the finance commission instead of the sales, the labor to do it?
That is just a darn good.
I know there's no way to do it in blue screen. I've gone over and over and over, and there's just not a way for me to do it. So I wanted to find out if the labor code can be charged, or I'm sorry, the labor can be charged to finance for the paint protection. Because right now they get all the benefit and none of the cost.
Well, that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, if you work F&I.
Yeah, I know. I was F&I manager 15 years. This is where the profit would go. We need to look at this, do one. I've never been asked this question because I've always checked this box, and the profit and cost, this is saying send the profit and cost to the F&I. The profit and cost of this deal is hitting the commission of the F&I department in the commission screen.
Including labor?
Including whatever's charged to it.
Okay. So
because
the
this
labor
PF1's calling this PF1 job.
Right. Okay. And that all right, perfect. Then that can job, the cost of it would be attached back to.
Yes, sir.
Back to that as well. Nice.
Yes,
okay.
Yep. And again, we set all the other 3 up the exact same. Okay. So with that being said, I have now set up all 3 of these, so I can go ahead and check that off my box. And again, all I'm doing is just, I created our little thing here and I'm checking them off as we get them. Okay, so here, now let's go ahead and knock out. So I got service plan. So
one more question.
One is, go ahead. Yes, sir.
The F&I component cost amount, that would be strictly the cost of the contract, correct?
No,
that would
go back to there. When I'll just pick number. Oh shoot, let me fix this one real quick. I forgot to put the 3 in there. And I'll use 3 to answer your question here. Ooh. If I leave this cost amount, if I leave this input and this cost amount 0, if I leave this input and this cost amount and this retail price input, and I leave this thing 0 here, when you sell this to a customer, you will have to fill in both.
Okay.
If I put in here an amount, whatever we come up with, and leave this empty, then the cost being charged will not be filled. Will be filled in. All you'd have to fill in the retail. And if I put this in, then both of them are filled in for you at the time of sale. But you said it changes based on other factors.
Yes.
And that's why it's always custom on. So this cost and this retail is merely hitting, the retail's hitting the customer. That's what they're going to get charged on their financing. The cost is, when you input that, is what you are going to cut a check for to the company that is supplying the thing. So
Perfect.
Yep.
I just wanted to make sure that the F&I component cost, that the labor was not included in that, because that filters a payable directly over to Camper's Edge. And I didn't want, if labor was included in that, it'd be a little bit convoluted because they're just charging me for the contract. They're not charging for the
Correct.
labor they're not. All right, perfect.
Correct. Yep.
That's all I needed to know.
Okay. So again, at this point, I only have the service plan, gap, and let's actually do gap now because gap might work. So gap's not here, and hit new, and come here, select gap, and I'll just type in gap here. Okay, so gap is not set up for some reason. I'll have to set. So gap and all of your insurances, try here. So credit life, single net. I'll just leave that there for a second. There's no code for that. Credit life, joint net. Again, there's no code here. A&H. And that would be the 14 DRM and the other one there. So there is gap, the 2 credit lives, and the 2 A&Hs that I need to have codes put in here. But now I know what they are, and I can do that easily. So let me show you. So basically, the path you were on was correct. The hardest and first part you have to do is set up your components. So again, we're lacking gap, and then the 2 credit lives and the 2 A&Hs. We have everything else.
Okay.
So I can easily show you the essence of it here. And so when I get the other set up, it doesn't take long to finish it. So once you have your components, then you just and actually I've been talking for a long time, then you get out of here all the way back. So again, where we're at, excuse me, is admin, setup, update tables and codes, and everything for menu selling is in our F&I, and everything is in the FI package maintenance. Once you get in FI package maintenance, you have all 3 tabs: your components, your groups, and your disclaimer. So we haven't done all of them, but we've done all the components we can do for this session, and I'll add the others here. So once you have your components, your next step is order package groups. And in package groups, you currently have nothing. Now, the most common, I was going to create a new one here, is out there. What dealers do is they usually do 3 and have a custom one left over. Could you do 4 at a whack? Yes, you could, but I recommend do 3. That way, if you ever have a customer saying, I don't like any of the options you pre-selected for me, you can always add on the fly a 4th one. So
okay.
Now what you name these is good, better, best, diamond, gold, platinum, whatever you want. So generally speaking, in the good, better, best, is that the best is on the left-hand side, but again, that's totally up to you. So good, better, best, so good, and then better, and spelling probably doesn't hurt to be right, and good. So again, how you want to name them, which order you want to put them in, totally up to you.
Okay.
Then you get to do the study. There's different colors out there that work good. So usually dark green, not dark green, I like green. And then that can be blue and whatever you decide. So whatever study you do, you get to pick out all the colors that you want them. So once you have your whatever here, then over here are the components we just finished setting up.
Yeah.
And this is the cool part. The lady that wrote this software, I don't think she really realized how good a job she did, but she did a good job. Okay, so first off, on this paint protection, you said it varied on size of the coach.
Yes.
Okay. Now this is actually another hard part is figuring out how many of these things do you need. So once you know the size, and let's pick a 30-footer, the coach is 30 feet. You guys just sell trailers, right?
Yeah, trailers, fifth wheels, truck campers.
Okay. And you don't sell any warranty on truck campers, do you?
Just the service contracts.
Okay. Okay. Actually, let's do that. We'll do that. Well, that'll be easy. We'll do the truck camper. Truck camper. And here, now, can the warranty you sell on the truck camper be priced differently based on anything, or is it just one price only?
It's be priced differently.
It can?
Mhm.
Based on what?
I don't know. I'm not in F&I enough to know what the cost of it or what she sells it for is based off of.
Okay. Well, let me show you how it's added. So we're going to present, we're selling a truck camper to somebody, and we're going to present 3 different type of warranties to them. Down here, I can add just to the best or just to the good. And let me go ahead and get rid of all those. Or I can hit add all, and it'll put extended warranty on all 3 of them.
Okay.
And then when I present it to the customer, I would put a different price for each. So we'll leave that one like it is right now. And I'll show you how you can make because each one of these has a cost factor and price factor, cost factor, price factor, cost factor. So if you are selling or presenting 3 different types of extended warranty to this truck camper buyer, you could price all 3 of them different, and you discuss the pros and benefits of it. And whatever one they choose is what you select.
Each one of those in the menu would be the same. It's just the cost of whatever truck camper it is might vary based off of what it is and.
Okay, so each one is the exact same price.
Yeah.
So bottom line, you don't need menu selling then for truck campers. Would that be correct? You can only sell one thing.
No, because I can still sell the paint protection. I can still sell Gap.
I thought, okay, with the truck camper.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Okay, good. Okay, so I would assume that the truck camper would always qualify just for the 1 hour.
Yes.
Okay, so let's go ahead and say I want that on that one. And you can sell Tire Guard. No, you can't sell Tire Guard. You could sell Gap.
Yes.
Okay, so for this argument, let's pretend this is Gap right now. So you would hit this. So you notice I hit this green box down here, which gave it all 3. Now here, let's just say I'm going to sell the extended warranty. I'm going to hit the center one and just that, and I'll leave that one alone.
Okay.
That makes sense what you're saying?
Yes. Yes. Perfect sense.
So best would have everything in the world. Better would have whatever you choose, and good would have the minimum.
Right.
And then this thing down here works exactly how you would think it. If you have something highlighted and you hit add all, it will put all 3 things. If you have something highlighted and you just pick one of these 3, then only one of those 3 gets something added.
Okay.
It's just a beautiful thing. Go ahead.
How do I type in the costs of those things so that part filters into it as well?
Now the cost that you told me that the cost will vary based on what you are selling.
Correct.
Okay, I'll show you how to do the cost when we sell it.
Okay.
You'll put the cost in it when we sell it. Okay, so I'll hit save there. So our truck campers are done, except for, let me get rid of that one because that will be Gap there.
Okay.
Okay, so these 2 are the same now, only because I don't have Gap over here to put Gap here. And again, you might change the wording up here. You might change the color up here. So I'm going to hit save. So truck campers is kind of done once you approve the words, once you approve the color, and once I get Gap in there, which I will have done today for you. Okay, so now let's go ahead and do another package group. Now, if I and again, same thing, gonna do 3, and same thing. And same thing on your side, you will change these to whatever you like. Actually, take it back. I found a cool thing. I forgot about it too. Let me hit Ghostbuster. You want to save your changes? No. Once you have something, because like the color coordination, you hit new, you copy from existing, and we only have 1 there. So it just kind of takes the word work, it does all that for you. And then you just change the wording up here. Okay, so in trailers, is there a difference in pricing or different in package presentation if it's a fifth wheel or a travel trailer?
It's usually based off of the cost of it, the components, as far as the extended service contract. If it's, how many slides does it have? Does it have slides? Does it not have slides? Does it have washer, dryer, dishwashers? So the price of it can vary, and the cost of what we normally charge. I mean, that can be set up, but the cost of it would be different.
The
And I
price
have
or cost?
Uh,
Retail or cost?
the retail.
Retail. Okay. Okay. So, but as far as everything you just said, if a travel trailer had a washer and dryer and a fifth wheel had a washer and dryer, whatever change that would be, it doesn't matter what type it is.
Right.
Okay. So we don't need to create different packages for fifth wheels, X, Y, and Z, and different packages for travel trailer because it's based on size, not the type of unit. Correct.
Correct.
Okay.
Like, give you an example.
Yep.
That's the chart.
Say
I don't
again.
know. Well, you can see it. So being able to just enter the things in based off of what, the cost is, and then I know what I'm charging, and then we can type in whatever we're charging it for and
All right.
make that up on the fly. But there's new towables. So there's so many different variables in that where we'd have to be able to, okay, we're in the warranty. This is what it's going to cost. This is what we're going to charge. We're in the gap. This is what it's going to cost. This is what we're going to charge, and do those things, and then have it populate into the menu cell so we
Correct.
can do that.
Yep. Yep. Yes. And that's why these are all zero down here. That will be done at the time of sale.
Okay.
So trailers, actually, I guess it's good. Fifth wheel trailer, travel trailer. You can change the description if we want to. So the major is anything dependent on size, or is it all dependent on component for everything? Gap and paint protection.
I will give you the breakdowns.
Okay.
Well, I've got used motorhomes, new motorhomes. Then I've got new towables, used towables, and it's broken down by the cost of the unit.
Okay.
And then this is for pop-ups, but we probably wouldn't be selling a whole lot of service contracts on pop-ups. And Gap would be the same way as far as basing it off of what the contract is, how much.
Okay. So actually, we may need to make one called towables, and we may make another one called motorized.
Okay.
But I think that, so let's just concentrate on towables right now, because motorized will be the same thing. It'll just have a different title to it. So with motorized, again, let's go ahead and do. Now we can have tire guard would be here.
Mm-hmm.
So again, this would also include, like best would also include single life joint, and then it would also include Gap is the only other one we don't have. So just realize that best would have everything. Basically speaking, best always has everything in the world.
Yep.
Better would have whatever you choose to better, and good would have the bare minimum that you want to get.
Yep.
So have I made this clear that you, once all the components are here,
Yep.
you just pick a component and you hit whatever box you want it to go to?
Yep.
Okay.
That's perfectly
Okay.
clear.
Cool. Okay. So again, once I get this in here, which should be will be today, then you'll just build your things that way. So let's go ahead and hit save here. And then let's go ahead and just create our last one. And copy to, okay. And we'll call that motorized. And again, you can always change these descriptions. Okay, so we have the three groups that we need. And now I can finally show you everything you've been asking constantly, I've been avoiding, is how, not avoiding, just haven't got to it yet, is how do you charge for this stuff? So now, go back to our quote. And remove all lines. And save. So this is your quote, how it is.
Mhm.
And over here, under FI package maintenance, you have your different groups. When I click this magnifying glass, we should see three: truck camper, motorized, and towable. And
Okay.
we do. So let's do the truck camper. That'd be the easiest one. Actually, truck camper is kind of moot point because you're not going to have three different things for it because you're going to charge the same. So no, we're not going to do truck camper. Let's do towables. So towable. And again, towable, motorized at this point are the same. So when you click on that, you're now going to see the three things that we taken. And here's best. Best had
Mhm.
3 in it. Better had 2 in it. And good had 1 in it. And then
Okay.
this is where everything you've been asking about. What do I put in for the cost of each one? What do I put in the retail for each one? Now, in the setup of the component, if I would have filled in cost or list, then that would have came in with it. And I could still change it. Because when we put input, I left it 0. That's why you're seeing zeros here.
Okay.
So extended warranty for the best, I'm going to put in $500. Extended warranty for the better, I'm going to put in $250. And extended warranty for this one is $100. Now, what difference that is, that's up to you. And then list wise, I'll just put in 1,000, 500.
Okay. The service contracts or extended warranties, that would vary based on the trailer, but not on the package. So if the best has the service contract cost $500,
Mm-hmm.
the good would be $500, and
Oh, okay, got it. Nope, I understand that. Perfect.
it's the unit itself that it would change what it is.
Oh, okay. Then that's how you. Oh, so but you still don't know that until at time of sale what coach you're
Correct.
selling. Okay, so you would still have that default 0. You would just populate it with a cost, but all 3 would be populated the same. This is what we would different, correct?
Yes, I have another
Okay.
question for you while we're in there.
Shoot.
Just by how it relates to selling it, printing off the paperwork, and then going back and posting it. A lot of times, they'll put the cost, or I'm sorry, they'll put the list in there to do the menu sell, to do the deal, and then go back afterwards and put the costs in after the customer signed it, because the customers never see the cost of those things anyways. And those costs get put in before it gets posted.
And
Once
that's all that matters.
okay, if as long as it's the same thing, because like if Lisa's going through and doing this and she says, well, I'm going to sell a service contract for $2,500, I'm going to sell a Gap for $1,500, tire and wheel, $900. And then those things would be there, and then she could just populate the menus.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Yep, exactly. However, whatever order you want to do it, because obviously this is something the customer doesn't see here.
Right.
Okay. Now, what is the paste? The paint and fab, I'll put in 400. Probably way too high. Tire guard, I'll put in 250. And then this one I put in good, better. Oh, that was best. So best was 400. So is the paint and fab, again, that would be the same price based on the size of the bad boy.
That's correct.
Okay, so that'd be 400 or whatever. And then over here, paint and fab. This would be a different price.
The good, better, and best would be the same.
Okay.
But what we charge for would be based off of the size of it.
Correct. So you would still use the package group towables. You would just put in the different costs based on the size of the thing.
That's perfect. Yeah.
Oh, well, no, actually, I did that wrong. I apologize. Let me get out of that and leave that up. I forgot to create our towable size. So back to here and package group and number 2. And here, I need to do the same thing because this is the thing that changes. So let me get rid of, actually here, I'm going to hit delete. Right? Yes, delete. Here, I'm going to hit delete. And that one didn't have it. So for Tobles 1, I'm going to put it here and here, but I won't put it here. I'm going to hit save. I'm going to hit new component.
If I've got the Camper's Edge paint and fabric protection down into the components already at 1, 2, and 3, why would I need to create a different group for each one of those?
Because when you select the package, let me show you. It should make sense, I hope.
Okay.
2, and I'm going to call this one, because your package group is not going to contain this one for number 2. It's going to contain this one.
Okay.
That make sense?
Yes.
Because this is 2 hours. And
Okay.
again, that's why I'm putting that 2 there. And then
I wouldn't be using these components to go and populate that. It's already contained in the group.
Very good. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yep. And then again, I'll get rid of these 2 because that's number 2. And I'll use number 3 here. And change the name of it. And save. Okay, now back to our code. And I don't think I have to hit refresh. We'll find out in a second. Yes, nope, I don't. Okay, now you're gonna, now to answer your question you just asked a second ago, you change the group because your first step is going to pick out what size is it.
Yep. Okay.
And so 1, 2, or 3 is which you pick it. So I'll just pick 3 or 2. So now you start putting in all the numbers that I said earlier. Did that make sense, that change I just made?
Yes, because it automatically filtered the 2 hours to put the paint protection in.
Yes, sir. And it's now it's calling the appropriate can job for service. So service doesn't have to think, because sales told us sales said PF2 dealer option, which service doesn't care about, but dealer option PF2 calls can job PF2, which service does care about, and can job PF2 has 2 hours in it.
Got it.
Okay. All right. So let's go back in. So $500 and $500 and $500 and $1,000, $750. And again, you understand you have total amenity, whatever you want to put here.
Mm-hmm.
Your cost is the same, evidently, but that. So tire guard, $250, and then that would probably be the same. Now that would be the same in all instances, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And actually, it's only one of there, so it doesn't matter. Paint and fab. Now that cost is going to be different based on the hours. No. This cost, yes, this cost, what is this going to cost you, or what is this going to cost the deal, which is going to go in the profit column of F&I, which would include product, which you get for free.
On a 2 would be $199.
There you go. Thank you.
The only time that cost would vary is on package number 1, because it's $6, $6 or $8 per foot is what we charge, but the maximum is $199.
Gotcha. Okay. And retail would be $299 and something else?
Yeah, go with $500.
500. Okay.
Just because you've got the cost of it at $199,
Gotcha.
plus you got $300 to install it.
Right.
So that's $500 is my cost of it anyway. So make it $850.
$850. Okay.
Just for the hell of it.
Yes, sir. So that's the wrong one. That was Z. Make it $850. And down here, make this 550. Okay. Now the hard part that Lisa has to understand, you'd have to understand, because once you get it, you get it, is realizing you have three different. This is all for best. This is all for better. This is all for good. So
Okay,
that's why you have the repeats of extended warranty in all three of them, because there's a best cost and price, there's a better cost and price, and there's a good cost and price. But once you
Yep.
get used to that, that's pretty simple. Okay, so now you have your pricing. Again, you do this before the customer gets here because you're trying to anticipate what their needs are when they get here, and you just click OK. And at this point, it throws those things right there based on all those different costs. And what I want to show you, I'm going to go back to quote details, and just want to emphasize there's nothing here. We haven't changed a darn thing here yet.
okay,
Go back to FI package. So if the customer says, now by the way, if you had two different monitors on your F&I desk and you clicked on show package display form, if I click that, well, I'll show it to you. If you click that, that brings up this screen, which actually is on the other monitor. So if you ever choose to do that, and that way the customer just sees this screen right here.
okay,
And that's the principal that they're borrowing. That's the interest rate currently. That's the term currently, and that's their current payment.
right on.
So if they choose here, so you do whatever you do, talking back and forth, and you say, okay, this is 480. You're right now your payment's 457 with all this good stuff here. And by the way, here's your oh, I did it on Paint Fabric. Let me change something here real quick. Change this to the details, and sub details aren't there. And I only did that on the one. Let me choose detail number 2. I wanted to show you the so we decided that the warranty was 500 and 500. Sorry about that hiccup. I just wanted to show you the details. And then we decided that 1250, something like that, 750, something like that, and 650 or whatever.
Sure.
And Paint and
It
Fab
wouldn't,
was
it wouldn't end up going like that, but just to be able to put
Right.
it in like that makes sense because I can change it based off of the menu portion of it.
correct.
I wouldn't charge less if they bought less product.
Gotcha. Okay. So you put whatever numbers you have in there. And the
Right.
reason I made that change is because in the PF1, I put in the detail and the sub detail. I wanted to show you that. See how that secondary description?
Yep.
So that's, you can get as fancy as you want to if you put in secondary descriptions and details and sub details. You basically want to kind of limit to this box, although if you exceeded, you had more text in here than I hold, you would have a scroll bar here. But the customers kind of get lost in that if you do too much in here.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd want all that in there.
Right.
Just,
So I just wanted to show it to you though, that you can have detail in there if you want it. Okay. So again, same thing, your payments. Okay. So you come here, and you said you do your selling back and forth and you say you want this one. Okay. So you click on that one, 478. Everything's highlighted now. And now if I go back to quote details, then all that numbers are right there. So right
Okay.
now it's 1250. If I come back here, no, that's too darn expensive. I can do that. Okay, we'll just go with the good. So you
Okay.
click on that one, that unchecks that one, come back to quote details, and now you're back down to 650.
Okay.
This is just a wizard. That's all it is, a pre-built wizard that populates this for you for your convenience.
Perfect.
That's it. And then whatever you hit save, and all those numbers are there.
And then all I have to do is just click onto the quote, go into quote details.
And it's there. And if the income wasn't there, then you would fill it in. If you don't fill it in at the time of sale, then you would fill it in then, and that way when you post the deal.
Okay. And then when I'm going into, like, I've got the quote details. Now, if I go into F&I packages, they're right there.
Yep.
Or I have to create them based on, this is the one that we just did for this.
Right. Yeah, this is the one we did just for this quote. Yes, sir.
And then if I hit clear packages and I want to start over, it would just get rid of all 3 of those and then I could start over.
Yes, sir. Components is the big thing.
Yep.
Once the
Okay.
components are there, then you'll probably play 2 hours, good, better, best. No, I don't like those words. I don't like this color. I want you'll probably go back and forth, but hopefully you see that once the components are there, after that it's just a matter of aesthetics.
Right.
It's just bottom line is whatever you pick group wise, whatever, I won't do it again, whatever numbers you put here are going to be calculated in what they see here. And then once they're here, you just pick on whatever you want. Whatever you pick here is going to populate this for you automatically, the ice screen. And
Okay.
so my job, should I choose to accept it, which I do, is I'm going to get GAP, Credit Life Single Net, Credit Life Joint Net, A&H 14DR, whatever that is, and the joint. And then I'm going to shoot you an email saying all those components are there. Then your job, actually make sure, let me clean this quote up real quick and make sure there's nothing here and there's nothing there. Okay. Then your job is going to go into update tables and codes. We already have the components, the groups main are there, I think. So obviously you can create more if you want to. But you have your, I think what's going to be covering most of your thing. Then you're going to come into one at a time, basically, and click on OK. Nope, wrong one. Package group. Once this is what I'm going to take care of, all the stuff will be there. So your
Okay.
job after I get that done is to come to package group and pick out whatever one you want to. So we'll just start with this one. And then you are going to grab whatever I set up for you here and throw it wherever you want to.
Okay.
And obviously, there might be more questions, so we can have another call after that. But the next major step is for me to get those components added. The next major step for you is once I send you that email is you add them. And then the next major step for both of us maybe is another call to answer whatever fine line questions came up.
I got one more.
Shoot.
You've got the component packages sitting there.
Yes, sir.
Tell me again how to go in and change the retail cost of them.
Okay. So that would be in the component itself. Very good. I'm glad you said that. So if I pull up this component, extended warranty, I'll just do this one actually. If you go into the component itself, then these are live for you.
Okay.
That's done in the component setup.
Yep. And then I can put in whatever cost that I want, or
Yep.
I'm sorry, whatever retail price I want in there, and then it'll automatically filter over.
Yep. And it's worth pointing out, as a default, you can still change it. So if you put numbers in here, if you leave this input and you put numbers in here, then they will default into the quote, but you still can change it at the time of the quote. So if you put in $500 here, but when you quote it to the customer, it's only $300, just change it.
Okay.
So these are just setting up defaults for you.
Okay.
All right.
That package 1, 2, and 3, where did you put those prices in at?
The packages itself?
Yeah, you were
Well, none of your components have any
cost.
numbers tied to them.
Right.
So none of your packages have any numbers tied to them until at time of sale.
Okay. And then that was when you were in good, better, and best, putting those components in. Where were you there? Because I got lost for a second.
Okay. No, step one, create the components.
Yep.
And again, I'll add whatever. Step two, kind of maybe, is that you would go back into any component you wanted to and fill in some default dollar amounts if you want to.
Okay.
Then the next major step is that we already have them created. I think that probably is going to be, you only need 5, but again, you can always add more. Is that you would build each of these groups the correct presentation, what you want to invest, what you want in better or good diamond, gold, and silver, whatever you end up with. What different components you want to put over here via this little menu down here.
Okay.
And then once you have that, you're done with the setup. Then you come into here, a quote, and the quote is going to grab everything. You're going to say what package I want, my pre-built package. You're going to say that one there. it's going to present you with whatever numbers you finally arrived at for your cost and list, whether it be 0 or some numbers.
That's where we were. That's what I was questioning. I didn't know where.
That's at the time of sale. At the time
Okay.
of sale is when you put, again, you can word it that way. At the time of sale, you put in your final numbers.
Okay.
You have beginning numbers, what you set up in the components, these will be your final numbers. Does that make
Okay.
sense? And then
Yeah.
once you have that, you just hit OK. That brings up the thing. You have now the customer in front of you with your pre-built numbers. You do your selling, whatever you do, you select something. And when you select that something, it automatically pre-fills this in for you, just like it always would.
So I don't need to put those numbers into that default in step 2. I can just go
Yep.
right into step 3 and then put those
them in all
prices in for what I'm
Yes, sir.
looking for, and it populates.
Yep. Yeah,
What-
it's kind of like you said, if the default cost on all of those was $500, if you always find out, if you always, when you pick package 2 or package, I don't care what you pick, if you always find out you're putting the exact same cost in all of them, well, then put it in the default. That way you don't have to mess with it.
Okay.
But if the cost is going to change every time, then leave it 0.
Right. Got it.
It's just strictly convenience.
So
But
step
yeah,
2.
what you said there was kind of perfect actually earlier. If the extended warranty cost is always going to be the same, then I would put a default cost of $500 in them and leave the list price 0, because you're going to change that based on whatever you do.
Right. But you saw the menu.
Yep.
How many different prices there are, so it's going to be different regardless.
Right. Well, you can't. If you try, every dealership's this way. If you tried to create a group for every different variation there is, this list would be silly,
Right.
and then the
Right.
maintenance would be sillier.
Right. I'd like to be able to just grab it.
Grab it, massage it, sell it.
Perfect. Way to describe it.
Yep. So
Okay.
I will send you an email in a little bit when I get GAP in there, or the things in there, and then again, if you have an issue, just shoot me an email, and then I don't think you will, but if you do, then we'll get it together.
If you could email this the video to Lisa so she can watch it as well.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll wait until I get the components in there, but yes, I'll send it to both y'all.
Sounds perfect.
Cool.
All right. Thanks, Mark. I appreciate
All right.
it.
Hey, by the way, just if you don't mind, how is mobile going? With the service guys?
They're running into a few hiccups here and there. Things not quite populating correctly, or one of the issues that they're having is not being able to punch in to start the day.
Now, in the upper right-hand corner, when they click on time clock, they have to log in first.
Yep.
The second, number 2 is click on time clock. At that point, upper right-hand corner should have the punch in, punch out. That's not there?
Right. Hacksaw didn't have his on there. The punch in, punch out one. And I said, well, just log into the job then for right now. And I looked at his phone and it wasn't there. Okay. So I thought it was kind of strange.
And Hacksaw, search by short name. Hack. There he is. So first off, is that his correct user ID, T Winnan?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, so if that is correct, oh, shoot fire, Berggren. Okay, well, he was telling you the truth, sir. I got to check that, and now I can uncheck that, and I can hit save. And let me get out and go to.
I think Cody had the same problem.
Okay, let me go to Cody. And no, Cody's good. He should be good. And let me go back to Mr. Hackshaw, make sure that's saved. And that's saved. So Hackshaw should be good to go now, and Cody was good. But again, just let me know. This is probably the main, well, that's the main thing there. I didn't check that box. If I had them tied to the wrong user ID. So that's, I have Hackshaw tied to T Winnan, and I have Cody tied to C Morris. So if that is right, then the upper, well, let me know. Both of
Yeah.
them now, Hackshaw might have to log out, log back in, but as far as I can see, both him and Cody, if they tap on time clock and they look in the upper right-hand corner, they should see punch in, punch out. If they don't, let me know.
How about Chad? He, I mean, in the middle of Flurry, told me he had issues with it too, but I don't remember what his issue was.
Chad, again, if he is CS or C's, I can't pronounce his last name. If that's his sign on, bottom line is all three of these people that you just named, when they look in that right hand corner, they should see punch in, punch out. If they don't let me know.
Got it.
Cool.
And I'll have them restart to make sure that they're
Yeah,
good to go.
have them log out, log back in, but yeah, let me know.
Okay.
Cool.
I
Alrighty, I
appreciate it.
will send you email in a little bit.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right. Bye.
All right. And stop sharing and stop recording.